Mauricio Pedroza. Is this something, nothing, or everything in Inter Miami's continued pursuit of Lionel Messi?
It is something. It is something. I don't think it's everything. I think there are many other factors that will decide either Messi comes or not comes to Major League Soccer. I don't think the fact that Gerardo Martino is a candidate, or even if he becomes the new Inter Miami head coach, will actually tip the scales in favor of Messi deciding to come and play in Major League Soccer. But we all know that Messi, Gerardo Martino was a manager under Barcelona. They had a good relationship. The relationship between Martino and the rest of the team was not great. Then he was his manager with the Argentinian national team. They lost those Copa America finals. That's when Messi first announced that he was retiring from the national team. Martino was fired. So, is it gonna make Messi's decision a little easier if he has a familiar face who's gonna be his new manager? 100%. Is that the only factor? I don't think so. That's why I only think it is something, not everything.
I think it's everything. Look, I said a few weeks ago on this show, when Don Garber uses the words "get it over the line," there's a little bit more than smoke there. Okay, well, I think we are very, very close to finding something out about Lionel Messi and Inter Miami. Yeah. And honestly, man, it cannot come soon enough. Not just for Inter Miami, but for Major League Soccer. Lionel Messi to this league, we've said it a million times, would just be massive. And you almost have to do anything that you can, Mal, to make it happen. Aside from Tata Martino, what's very interesting, what we're hearing, is a potential partnership between Inter Miami and Barcelona so that Messi could play maybe a year and a half at Barcelona and then come to Inter Miami. I got to tell you, I hate that. Inter Miami doesn't need Barcelona to make this happen. They got to do it on their own. I want Messi now, not in 2025.
I don't see how that makes sense for Inter Miami. Honestly,
exactly.
Not one bit. If Messi wants to go and play for Barcelona, he can do it without Inter Miami, right? He can absolutely do it. He's still waiting to hear from La Liga and finding out if Barcelona's numbers are going to be good enough in order for them to sign Messi. As of now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And remember, Cristiano Ronaldo just announced that he's going to stay put in the Saudi League. I don't know if that is also one of the reasons why Messi doesn't want to go there, just to compete again against Cristiano Ronaldo. So I'm with you here. I think we're inching closer, and maybe closer than ever, to hearing from Lionel Messi's camp that the decision is that he will play for Major League Soccer. And I know this for a fact. Major League Soccer and Inter Miami have done everything is in their power to bring Messi to Major League Soccer. But they are close. I think they are very, very close.
Xavi Hernandez has mentioned that he expects a decision sometime in the next week. And everybody's worried about how's Inter Miami going to do it with money. Remember, there was a time in this league where nobody was paid more than $5 million. Then suddenly Lorenzo Insigne is on $14 million. They'll figure it out with Lionel Messi. What about Phil Neville? Now, was this the wrong time to fire Neville by David Beckham, or is it the perfect timing with Lionel Messi potentially coming this summer?
Well, those are two different questions. Because the right time in terms of what the team needed, I mean, there was like 3 or 4 other instances in which it would have been the right decision to fire Phil Neville. Right now, it felt like it was time, right? The team was going nowhere. There was a moment at the beginning of the season in which it looked like the team was clicking, right? They were getting the results. But they were not playing great. And I think that was one of the factors why it was very clear to everyone that the Phil Neville experience was nearing the end. And yeah, I mean, timing is everything in life. And when the moment arises in which you can sign Lionel Messi, you don't want someone like Phil Neville with his track record to be his new manager. So yeah, it feels like it was the proper time to do it.
Yeah, the reason we're connecting the Phil Neville departure with Lionel Messi is because there were other times, as you say, Mao, where things were worse at Inter Miami. They had a 6-game losing streak at one point this season. In fact, I was watching a game in the Open Cup, and I know I've talked about it on this show before, where if they don't get a goal in the last minute of play, they go out to Miami FC of the second division, and I think Phil Neville might have lost his job that night. So there's been pressure building and building and building. And we've seen it bubble over in the press conferences. We saw the exchange with Neville and Franco Panizo a couple weeks ago. And then actually in just his latest press conference, he's basically begging the fans not to go after his kids. And I don't just mean his young players. Actually, his son, who he put in the game and got booed. When the fans are turning and booing on your kid, it's become personal. It's become toxic. And so I can actually look at this and say, you know what? Messi's convenient, and maybe this is part of Messi, but also things at Inter Miami are so foul, are so toxic right now. When the coach has to go and in the post-game press conference defend his son, you got big, deep issues there, and I think it's very fair for Inter Miami now to walk away from Phil Neville now.
Absolutely, and just let's not forget this. If Phil Neville wasn't one of David Beckham's closest friends, he would have probably lost his job way, way, way sooner than now.
There you go. Let's take a look at Inter Miami under Phil Neville in the last 3 seasons of MLS. Now, I'm not a statistician. I'm not a real math guy.
You're
but,
not?
It's not very good.
Well, I can tell you it's not great. That's not great.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.